Hi, Selena. Welcome to our first lecture for week 4. This is where we're going to go over what you submitted last week, and we're going to talk about what the things I want you to do this week. This week is going to be a big week. Since it took us so long to connect with each other, this week is going to be a lot of work for you, but just kind of get it done. I don't think it'll take you very long, but it is going to be a good deal of work. Let's hop over and let's just start with your Behance page. Here we go. First, let me just say, this looks great. I really like your, let me move my bar out of the way there. I really like your portfolio. I see you did that. This looks awesome. Like the layout you chose, the theme you chose. This looks really good. Let's talk about your catch a moment. You did this last week, and this looks awesome. And this looks professional. This looks like a piece you would see in a professional portfolio, and that is what we are striving for. So this week, I want you to ignore the assessment instructions for both assessments. You can just completely ignore what it says in Canvas, because what I want you to do is, for part A, I want you to go through and use this same technique that you did here on the rest of your pieces that are already in your portfolio. So go through and do the SMIDI. Tell a story with that. Even if you only have one picture, that's fine. Do your story about that picture. Tell them what the project is, the scope is, how you came up with this, the idea behind it. Show your design process here. Same thing for your self-promo, your interactive infographic. A good idea would be to demonstrate the interactivity. So if this moves or wiggles or something like that, copy this onto a new artboard in Illustrator or something like that. Let's say they roll over it, it wiggles back and forth. Well, do some curvy arrows on each side to show movement, and then maybe above it, do on rollover, this happens. If it does something else on click or something like that, whatever this does that makes it an interactive infographic, show that. And you can use arrows, you can use different poses, whatever the case may be. My guess is that you probably have some sort of storyboard type thing that goes with this. Use that, set it up like a story, use the exact same technique, just add some more poses or arrows to show movement as it tells that story of what it does. And then, of course, you have your information design project here. I think this is some sort of Kawasaki or maybe even a website. I'm not quite sure, but I talked about this in the prior lecture. These images are skewed. You need to redo those and fix them so they're not skewed. And then you've got 2 cover photos here. You only need 1. And actually, that cover photo would probably be great for the top of your ad. Put it up there, and then just like you did in that using that first technique, put the wording underneath it, and then go into showing what the website would look like laid out and things like that. This, not quite sure what all of this is because it looks to be the exact same image repeated multiple times. You don't need that. 1 image. And then it keeps going. And then you have this, a history expo, history through the years. And it's repeated over and over and over. Edit this, make it just 1. And then, of course, you have your presentation slides. This is a good idea. Maybe mock this up so it's on a computer screen or a tablet screen. And then you've got your banner ads. And this looks like 2 websites instead of, and that's fine, But don't do them side by side like that, and unless you're doing one on like a desktop computer mock-up and one on a tablet mock-up or a cell phone mock-up. You could do something like that and have them side by side. Otherwise, this is just strange to look at. It took me a minute to figure out this is actually two different web browsers. And again, with the repeat, you've got your information at the bottom, move it up, just like you did in Catch the Moment. And set it up like that so it looks better. Fit, fun foods. Same thing with that. This picture is skewed. So you need to redo that and find a new t-shirt mock-up. Your cup looks pretty good. Your sports drink, I think this image is skewed too. It looks skewed. So you might see if you can find another drink. As I talked about last time, this image is definitely skewed. It needs to be stretched back out so this doesn't look like it's all been squished together. And this image needs to be turned around the correct way so we're not looking at it sideways. And then just use it to tell your story. Make sure you can start with your logo up here and then put your information underneath it. It would be a great idea to find a sign mock-up to put this logo on. That will make it look really awesome. And do that as the picture under the text. And then continue to tell your story about your promotional products. And then you have your chill out. I critiqued this one. You can review that video. I think it was in week 3. And the glasses need a little bit of work. They're a little dark. They seem to be the prominent feature of this logo. But same idea here. You can start with a logo, text underneath it, and maybe do a sign mock-up or something. And then, of course, you have your t-shirt. Again, this needs to be redone because I can see the white square. Excuse me. The coffee mug, same thing. I can see that white square. So these need to be redone so they look realistic. Same with the business card. Mock this up so that it's actually on an invitation. And then here's all your text. You just need to move up. So same theme there. So that's what I want you to do for part A. Is I want you to go in and apply that same technique to the remainder of what you have in your Behance right now. In part 2B, I want you to bring in some of your past web and app design projects from your programming classes. I know you have a website design for Downtown Restaurant, and you have an application design, a cell phone app design from one of your other classes. Mock those up. Get your code put onto GitHub and link it in your Behance. And mock those up so we can see what they do. Take screenshots of the different pages within them when you run and test the program, and mock it up on a cell phone. Mock it up on a desktop computer monitor. That sort of thing, and get those two put in here. In reality, you need 3 or 4 specific web design projects, but you can continue to work on this after you're finished with this class. But for 2B, I want you to get 2 of those projects put in here and mocked up using the same technique you used on Catch a Moment. Tell a story. Tell us what's going on, what you did, what the scope of the project was, and how you came up with your design plan. On the Downtown Restaurant, you want to talk about being a team member and what your responsibility was within that team. And that will be your part 2B of this week. Otherwise, you definitely have the technique down. Catch a Moment looks awesome. This tells me a story. I can read and say, okay, this was the scope of the project. This is what she's doing. And then it tells me a story and shows me your design process. and how you came up with what you were doing, what I'm looking at, and just kind of it gives a little insight into your creative process. Oh, sorry about that. This code is almost gone. It would just finally disappear if you had me. Catch a Moment looks awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better job here, Selena. You did an amazing job. This tells a story, and I can follow your design process. And that's what we're looking for on every single one of your pieces, because that is what's going to attract employers and customers. Okay, so part A of the assessment, go in and apply that technique to the other. My goodness, I'm sorry. Apply that technique to the other 5 pieces you already have here for part A. And for part B, add 2 more web design projects or an application project from your programming classes. So you can either add a web design or an app, or you can add 2 web design projects that you did. And then use that technique to set up your portfolio view. If you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, that's our short lecture for today. You did an awesome job. You just got a little bit of work. You've got a little bit of work to do this week, but I think you can get it all done. It shouldn't take you very long, because on most of these you already have the text. You just kind of need to rearrange it and put it where it goes, and then kind of clean up your images and put them in story order so that we can follow that design process. And then part B is just adding in 2 of your web design projects you've done, or a web app project you've done. Either one will work. And it's just 2 of them. Okay, Selena, well, if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I can't wait to see this final product.